I can see my slides. We are in business. Okay. And so if you haven't had a chance yet, please go ahead and keep chatting away in the chat. If you have any questions as we go, please feel free to ask them in the chat, and I might see it because I have put it right here next to my screen. So I might see your question in the chat, but if not, this is an amazing group of women in this Zoom room tonight. So someone else might have an answer for you. So go ahead and put your questions in there as we're going along. And if no one has a good answer, I will make sure to go through and answer them at the end of the call. All right. So let's see. How do I go to next slide? That would be the next challenge. Okay. Adjusting here. All right, it's working, right? Okay, good. So you guys all know who I am, but just to kind of remind you, I am Tori. Those are my dogs, Bert and Lucy. They are 10 years old, but I have over 20 years of experience as a Labrador mom, not just any dogs, but Labradors, which is a special kind of crazy. And Bert and Lucy, they inspire everything that I do. I'm very passionate about canine enrichment. If you have been following me, you know I'm working on getting certified as a canine enrichment specialist. So that's kind of my side thing I've been doing whenever I have the time to do it. And then I'm also a barn hunt enthusiast, I guess, officially. I just signed Bert up for his next barn hunt trial at the end of October, which I'm very excited for. I'm not just a dog mom, I'm also an online marketing expert. So I have over 15 years of experience in online marketing. I used to manage social media accounts for brands before Facebook fan pages even existed. We had profiles on Facebook for some of our clients. So I've been doing this for a long time. Some of my advice has been featured in the Wall Street Journal, businessinsider.com, the ConvertKit blog, and a whole bunch of other things. My podcast, where I interview women in the pet industry, has over 120,000 downloads. And I'm also the host of the Wear, Wag, Repeat Society membership. And if you want to share screen grabs or videos of any of this on Instagram tonight while we're here, feel free. Just please tag me so that I can make sure to reshare it. All right, so why are we here tonight? Why have I gathered you here? It's because pet parents want to get your emails. They really, really do. But I know that everyone has like a little bit of just friction about this whole concept of like, what are you going to send your pet parents on your list? You know, if you haven't emailed them in a while, like, what are you going to say? How it's going to be awkward. You know, there's so many reasons that everyone makes up about why they shouldn't be emailing their pet parents. Or maybe you're like, I only have 2 people on my list, so what's the point? Believe me, there is a point. And I want to thank everyone who replied to my email yesterday. Just so that you know, I got so many responses when I asked you how many people are on your email list. Some people said they have 0. Some people had 2 people. Some people had 500. Some people had thousands. So we really are all over the place, and there's no right or wrong place to be. So wherever you are in the journey, it's great. You know, I kind of got the sense that people who were like, I have 2 people or I have 11 people, that they were kind of like, about it. And I'm like, no, this is exciting because this is a blank slate. You know, it's a fresh opportunity to get started off on the right paw. I wish I had known all of this advice when I was just getting started, because it took me years to not just figure out email marketing, but SEO and social media and all of it. So if you're just getting started right now, I'm like jealous because you're going to get started off on a really, really good step. Yes, exciting. So email is all about creating a sense of community. And I know we talk about that with social media, social media is really about community. So why should I also be doing email? Well, social media usually gets a like 1 to 10% engagement rate. Maybe you get higher, maybe you have a reel that goes viral or something like that, and you get a higher rate. But like on average, I think we can all agree between Facebook and Instagram and everything else, the engagement rate, it leaves a lot to be desired. However, emails might get a 50% open rate. And that's not unheard of. That was actually my goal for this summer, to get my emails, like an email that I would send out to my entire list, over 50% open rate. And I actually did it. I had to remove a bunch of cold subscribers who weren't opening and weren't engaging. But that's good, because it made more room for the people who do care about what I have to say. So, when I send out a post on Instagram, the odds are that a small percentage of my audience is going to even see it, let alone engage with it. When I send out email, there's no way to tell any stats about who saw your name in their inbox or who saw your subject line, but it's going to be even higher than that. Some people are just overwhelmed by their emails and they have to just go delete, 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 but they're still seeing your name. And that's just as good as swiping through on social media. But then when we think about 50%, up to 50% of those people are actually opening it and reading the content and clicking on things or replying to you, it just blows social media out of the water. So how are you going to use your email and your social media together? So it really is important to use both of these things to continuously engage your community. You can build a strong community by consistently and continuously engaging with your audience and getting them excited about you and your content. So you can do this with social media and with email. They don't have to be mutually exclusive. But a few things that I really like about email is that everyone is comfortable with email. My grandma, who's 96 years old, she can email. So anyone can email. It is not something that you have to learn a new TikTok dance or figure out a hashtag strategy. Everyone knows how to send an email and how to open an email. So, you're not really excluding people who are going to be like, I can't figure that out. It's very easy for everyone to figure out. Then people are actively searching their inbox for something fun and special. So think about when you go through your inbox and you're like, okay, delete, delete, delete. And then you're like, oh, an email from Tori? Oh, I wonder what kind of disaster of dog puke and Bert ate some kind of bones. And like, what's she talking about this week? So people are actively searching their inbox for something fun, entertaining, special. That's the kind of stuff I like to send. Maybe your brand is more deep, more educational in that sense. And so maybe your emails aren't going to be entertaining stories about the last thing your dog ate, like my emails, but maybe yours are going to be really informative, and that's what your audience wants. So we kind of have to know what our audience wants and send that to them, not just through social media, but with our email. I also love that email is private, so everyone can be themselves. I think that there's a lot of negative connotation to like the anonymity of social media, of people sending, troll comments and kind of hiding behind their anonymous account. I just don't see that happening in email. I think because, usually people have their name associated with their email address, but they know that they're sending a message to you personally. Instead of troll comments, they seem to be something people do for attention. And you can't really do that when you're replying to an email, because only one person is going to see it. So I think you really kind of get rid of all these trolls that you have on social media that drive me crazy. But you also get to have like really nice personal conversations with people. I've had email responses to my email newsletters where people share stories about breakups and pets passing away, or they send me photos of their new puppies, which is very exciting. Just last night, I asked you guys how many people are on your email list, and a lot of you replied and told me the exact number. Now, would you have posted that in the caption on Instagram? Maybe, but probably not. So that's why email is just really great. You get to have this kind of personal connection with people. So you might be thinking, Tori, that's great and all, but how do I get pet parents on my email list? It sounds a lot easier than it is, right? And look at that little derpy face. I love that. So in this workshop tonight, I am going to cover these 4 main things. So getting people on your email list, you can do that a lot of ways. One of the ways that we'll talk about tonight is using a lead magnet, and I'll explain to you what that is. Second up on our agenda here, I will talk about why you should care about growing your email list. I know I just kind of told you a little bit, but I'll go into it more. I'll also show you screenshot examples of my exact welcome sequence and sort of a formula that you can follow for your own email welcome sequence. And then also, after hearing back from so many of you last night, I decided to add this fourth part, which is how to re-engage your list after going missing in action, because I'm seeing some people looking a little guilty here on the video. It's not a lost cause. If you have an email list that you haven't talked to in a while, that's totally okay. And I will tell you kind of what I think is the right way to re-engage that list. And I'll share an example of a recent one that I got that I thought missed the mark. So first off, what is a lead magnet? If you have a lead magnet, please comment in the chat what your lead magnet is, or you can just say, yes, I have one. So a lead magnet, there's interchangeable terms for this. You've got an opt-in incentive, a lead magnet, an opt-in freebie, or a content upgrade. Basically, what it is a digital piece of content that you offer to your ideal customer in exchange for their email address. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it, when you break it down like that? I can see some people have lead magnets. Charlotte says she has them, but she never tells anyone that they exist. Nana has a recipe guide. Let's see, Pam has a mini course and some printables and ebooks. So you guys have lots of things going on. Alexandra also has a emergency pet care guide. And Caitlin has a question, which I will get to later. I don't want to get off track. I'll get to the questions. Okay, so about your lead magnets, if you don't have one already, here's just kind of like a quick guide of how to come up with an idea for that. So lead magnets, they don't need to be long. They do not need to be complex, and they do not need to be time intensive. They should be useful, specific, valuable to your audience. And that's really important. We're not talking about valuable to like everyone or your neighbor or your aunt. What does your audience really want? What would be valuable for them? Something that's easy for you to create, and then something that's easy to implement or consume. The key to these lead magnets is that you want to give people kind of a quick win, something that's going to give them a little teaser of what it is that you do, what makes you unique, what makes your brand so great, maybe a little taste of your expertise, but you want it to be something that's easy for them to do. So I think a big sort of problem that people run into is they'll come up with a lead magnet. They're like, I am going to make a 50-page book, and it is going to be the comprehensive guide to how to do this really complicated thing. Well, then people get it, they look at it, but they're like, oh my God, there's like 100 steps to this. I don't have time. And it just accumulates dust on their hard drive of their computer, and they never do it. They never take action. And so that's not really the best way to turn your leads into loyal subscribers, because they're going to just open your email and be instantly overwhelmed. And they're going to be like, I don't have time for her emails. I'm just going to delete them from now on. Or maybe I'm just going to unsubscribe because this is way too complicated for me. So I think the key to a lead magnet is to just keep it really simple. So here are a few ideas just to get your wheels turning. So this is all kind of geared towards pet sitters, but you could cater this to be for whoever that you want. I kind of liked this little niche because pet sitting and dog walking is very local specific, which is kind of harder to think of lead magnets for that. And since we have some photographers in here, you might also want to do things that are like local specific. So for example, a dog-friendly guide to your town. It could just be something very, very simple. How to pick a responsible cat sitter. Maybe this is like a little checklist, or it could just be a series of emails that you send someone of like, here's what to look for when you're hiring a cat sitter. A printable list of emergency vets in your area. I recently did a blog post of emergency vets in Pittsburgh, and it is starting to pick up some traffic, which is great for me, but also it's like really helping people because, you know, when you need an emergency vet, you really need it right then. And there was no kind of citywide list that anyone had put together yet. So you might want to do that for your city. You could do a video of what to do if you think your dog is experiencing heat stroke. This is something that might be best as a video, but you got to kind of think about how you want to create it, how your audience wants to consume it. You could also do some kind of a rewards booklet. And this could be for online businesses or in-person businesses. You could partner up with some other local businesses to, and everyone could promote it and everyone could get people on their email list with that. You could also do a quiz. You could do a quiz about what kind of dog walker is best for you, or what kind of pet photography session is best for you. You know, do you want studio photos or do you want something out in the park? What kind of dog exercise routine is best for you? Should you do running with your dog? Should you do hiking with your dog? Should you do some kind of like balance board thing or paddle boarding? You know, there's so many different quizzes, and pet parents, I think this is a really fun thing for pet parents to do. You could also just do a really simple printable checklist of what to do when leaving your pet with a pet sitter. And this would, if you are a pet sitter, this would really help you in the long run, because then your clients would be like really prepared when they leave their pets with you. And then you could also just do a map of your favorite trails or walks. You can do this as a shared Google map. So it can be as simple as that, as you just create a shared Google map and just send people the link to that, and they would see where all these little pinpoints are that you've put. So just keep in mind that whatever you decide to do in terms of a lead magnet, you want to offer something that is helpful and that it can give pet parents a quick win. So I know those examples were all really geared towards pet sitters. I'm getting ready to speak at Pet Sitter World in October. So I was like just brainstorming all kind of ideas for them next month. Or actually it's at the end of September, early October. So it's less than a month from now. So I was just in brainstorming mode for that. But I think everyone in here is very creative, and you can see how to kind of spin those and use those in your own niche. Okay. Is everyone feeling good about this so far? In the chat, say like, yes, ready to move on. I'm going to have a sip of water. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Okay, great. So moving on. Number 2. So why do you want to put some effort into growing your email list? I know that you guys all are interested because you obviously signed up for this workshop. So that's a good indicator that you do want to grow your email list. But here's just some more reasons so that you're extra motivated to do that. So like I said before, email is old school. So that's actually a huge perk, because it means that most people know how to use it. You don't have to download a new app. You don't have to learn a dance. You don't have to lip sync. You don't have to do any of these things that everyone is telling you to do every single day. You can keep doing those things. They're very fun and they can be super great. But email is old school. So anyone who's in here, I know that you know how to send an email, and don't tell me you don't. So you can do this. It also means that you're not so dependent on the social media algorithms. So, you know, if the apps crash or something happens like that, or if they just decide that you're shadow banned, which, you know, is shadow banning a thing? I don't know. We don't know. But you don't have to deal with any of that drama or any of that stress. And then I also want you to just think about this. People subscribe to X number of email newsletters. Like, how many email newsletters do you think you subscribe to? Maybe like 20 or 50 even, something like that. I mean, 50 would even be a lot. Versus on social media, you're probably following thousands of social media accounts. So that's just something to think about. You know, if someone is signing up for your email list, they are really taking the extra effort. They're really interested in what you're doing and what you have to say and what your business is about, versus just following you on social media, where you're kind of going to get swept up in the current of all the other posts, where on email, you can really kind of stick out. Charlotte says she subscribes to so many because she's a sucker for lead magnets. Girl, back in December, every December, there seems to be this group of online business people who do like a freebie fest. And everyone in their community offers like all these freebies, and you have to sign up for all their email lists. I signed up for like 50 email lists because I wanted everyone's freebies too. And, you know, I wanted to see what their freebies were like so I could get some ideas, but I also just wanted like their free content as well. And so that was a whole other project of actually working through all the free stuff I signed up for, but I did do a pretty good job. The best freebie I got out of that was a little mini e-course of how to make an animated GIF. And I ended up making some animated GIF stickers and putting them on Instagram stories. If you search Instagram stories in like this GIF sticker area, if you type in wear, wag, repeat, you will see the animated GIFs that I made. And I learned how to do that with a freebie. So that was really worthwhile. Okay, so somebody else. Wait, I'm losing it. Okay. Maria has a question, is how an email list when I do draw dogs and make an item with their pet. Yes, I'll get to that later on for sure. We have lots and lots of ideas. The GIF freebie, I don't know. I will look for it and tell you if I can find it. So you guys can kind of see, you know, there are some of these freebies that stick out in people's minds. It's a great way to get people on your email list. And it's just a great way to kind of stick out from like the inundation of information that we're getting on social media constantly. The other reason why you really want to put some effort into growing your email list is because your email list is about making money. I know you all have businesses, and so it's really important that what we're putting our time into is going to give us some kind of a return. And I know I've been doing social media for a long, long time, and I get a little bit jaded with it because sometimes I don't see the ROI in everything that I do there. But with my email list, I can directly see the correlation of sending out an email and people signing up for something or clicking a link to buy something. So email is a channel where you can consistently show your audience what it is that you do. You know, you might be posting consistently on social media, but because of the algorithm, they might not always be seeing your posts. So in your email, you can really just remind people what it is that you do on a regular basis. You might have heard the word consistency mentioned a few times so far. That is the key to all of this. So when you build that community and that trust with them, you can sell your products and your services, or even you can use affiliate links. There are some people who do email marketing who make hundreds of thousands of dollars off of affiliate links every year. So that is something you can do as well. And then one of the greatest things is that how much money you make, it has absolutely nothing to do with how many subscribers you have. I'm in an email membership actually hosted by Liz Wilcox, and she's just such a cool person. But when she first started her email list, she had less than 1,000 people on it, and she made $80,000 that year, pretty much just from her email list. So you don't have to have a huge list to make money off of it. So moving right along, how are we going to turn those new leads into loyal subscribers? So first, you want to make your list a positive and on-brand experience from the moment that this person hits submit on the form. And I have some screenshots to kind of show you. You then want to write a maybe 2 to 4 email welcome sequence that helps them get to know you. And then finally, you want to be yourself in the emails. Turning someone from just like a lead who signed up for your freebie into someone who's really loyal and knows you and loves you and can't wait to open your email. The key to it is really being yourself. And I have found in the last year that the other key is asking questions that you really want responses to. Just like the email I sent you last night, asking you how many email subscribers you had. And I got so many responses, but I've really been prioritizing getting my subscribers to really reply to me because it really makes it feel like we're all real people and not just some like anonymous account just sending out a mass email, because I don't want it to feel that way. So let's talk about your welcome sequence. So what kind of things do you want to put in your welcome sequence? And I'm going to show you the exact kind of breakdown of what to put in each email, but here's kind of some ideas. So you want to tell the story of why you started your business. These people might be brand new to you, or they might have known you for years on social media. Whatever it is, it's really important that you tell them your why. Even if someone's been following you for years, they might not really know like your origin story of your business. So you want to share that. I also like to share a few links to your best content. And I'm talking about the most standout, most helpful, best content, gets the most traffic, gets the most comments, that people love, the most helpful stuff that you're going to want to send to them, because you want to make a really, really good first impression. You could also use your welcome sequence to remind them about the freebie that they signed up for, because Charlotte and I know sometimes you sign up for a lot of freebies and you forget why you're on that email list. So you can remind people, hey, you're here because 3 months ago, you asked for this freebie and here it is again. You can also use your welcome sequence to tell them what to expect, or when to expect emails from you. Sorry, you can tell them what to expect and when to expect them. So I like to give people a really clear expectation of when my emails are going to come. If you're going to send every day, which would be a lot, you want to tell them that so that they're prepared, so that they're not like, oh God, this is way too much. Just, you want everyone to know what's going to happen. You also can ask questions, because it's not just about them getting to know you. You want to get to know them as well. And then finally, you really want to make sure in your welcome sequence for your business that you are clear that you have a business and that you have things to sell. I think, we want to kind of make friends with people on here, but, I buy from my friends. I like to support my friends' businesses. So it's really important that we also tell our email subscribers that we're making friends with that we do have a business, by the way, and we do have things to sell to them, because that's how we survive. Yes. And Pam says you want to treat them as a friend and be honest. You are 100% correct about that. So let's talk about personalizing the very, very first impression. So this is a new sign-up form that I just created. It's kind of hard to read the text on the heading, so that's something I have to figure out and work on. But basically, this is something that I built. I use ConvertKit, and if anyone needs an email system, I love ConvertKit, and I'd be happy to send you a link for it. So I created this sign-up form where someone puts in their name and their email address. They click the hot pink button, which is very wear, wag, repeat, and they say, I need that. And so then on the back end, on the right-hand side of the screen, you can kind of see the back end of ConvertKit, how I set up my settings. So in order to deliver this freebie to them, which is a 30 topple stuffing recipes. It's an ebook that I created. In order to deliver that to them, I have to set it up in my in ConvertKit back here. And it would be the incentive email. I don't know if you can see my mouse on the screen or not, but okay, you can. So that's the incentive email. And what you're going to want to do is, I have this set to download this 30 topple recipe ebook, and I just have the PDF in here. But first, you want to hit edit email contents. And so this is where we're going to make our very first impression with these people. This is almost like before the welcome sequence, they're going to get this incentive email. And a lot of people do not customize this in any way. And I feel like it's just a missed opportunity to make that first impression really great. So here's what I have done with it. So I hit that edit email contents for the incentive email. This is actually not the welcome email. This is the incentive email. So when someone gets this, they'll click this button and it will download the ebook freebie that I've created. So I have put in a really nice subject line, open for dog joy or topple recipes. Same thing. And so that's kind of like a nice personalized email or subject line, instead of just saying, please confirm your subscription, which is what most people just leave it as, which is not very exciting and not very fun, and certainly doesn't mention dogs. Instead, I put in my own subject line. I also put in a logo, and then I wrote a little bit more. Instead of just saying, here, click here to confirm, and then, it happens, which would be the default. And the default would also make this button like navy blue. Instead, customize the look of the button. I've said really big, get the recipe book. And when they click that, it will confirm them in my email system. And I've also just said, I'm so happy to have you here. And then if you're new to Wear, Wag, Repeat, I will send you a couple emails with my best stuff so you can get caught up. You're going to love it. And so this would be the incentive email that goes out with that freebie. Then from there, they will get this email sequence. So I have it kind of set up to tag them as a new subscriber if they are new, and they would get this email sequence. So here is what you might want to write down or screenshot. So I would recommend, I just broke it down into 3 emails. You could do 2 emails. You could do 4 emails. There's even someone who I follow, Brandon Gale, I think is his name. He's the blogging millionaire guy. I've heard him say that you could turn all of your emails into the welcome sequence. Just every time you write a new email, tack it on the end of your welcome sequence, and then all your emails eventually would be automated. But that sounds very complicated to me. So I have the automated welcome sequence. And then from there, I email my list about once a week or twice a week. So the first email is I give a quick intro, and then I also provide links to my best content. Email 2, I want you to tell people the why, the big why of your business. And then email number 3, I would suggest that maybe you relate to one of their pain points and encourage them to reply to that email because you've kind of warmed them up. So think about this as like friends in real life. You tell them a little bit about you, you share like something interesting about yourself, and then maybe you ask them a question about themselves so they can reply. So we want to really treat these people like they are real people. So here is email number 1 that I send out. I know it's very hard to read here. So if you want to see these, I guess I could email them out. I could email the slides later or something. Let me know in the comments if you want that, because it's probably impossible to read as it is right now. But this is basically the quick intro and links to my best content. So in the top of the email, I just give a little quick intro of who I am and why I do what I do. I started Wear, Wag, Repeat because of my old dog, Lola, and Lucy, who I've had for 10 years. So that's a photo of me and Lola and Lucy in 2014 when I started this. And then I share some of my top 3 blog posts, and I also put in a link to shop for my favorite dog gear. Because remember, these are people who are signing up to get Topple recipes. I made sure that the links that they're getting, like this is my best Kong stuffing recipes, DIY busy box enrichment activity, and then cleaning tools to get dog hair out of anything in your life. So those 3 links are going to probably be pretty well aligned with the people who signed up for the Topple recipes ebook. And then down here, I say, keep an eye out for a couple more emails coming from me over the next few days. So I want to set that expectation that there will be a few more emails coming. And then I also give people a little tip. You don't have to do this, but to drag my email over to their primary folder or add me to their address book or something like that, so that I don't end up in their promotions or spam folder. So that is email number 1. Remember that if the first email, you want to get them kind of thinking that if that first email was so great, I can't wait to open the next one. So, it's nice, I think, to put a photo so people can see you and get to know you. I would encourage doing something like that, or a photo of your dog if you don't want to have yourself, or your cat. I'm sorry, everyone, horse, gerbil, tarantula, whatever it is, whatever your pet is, doesn't have to be you. But you want to make that first welcome email really, really good, so that people are excited to open the next one. So then the next one would be the big why of your business. And so I have a big, beautiful photo of Bert and Lucy. That was like on the 3rd day that I had Bert. He just was naturally so photogenic. He's meant to be my dog. And I just talk about how Bert really has expanded what I do and my passion for what I do, and why now Bert and Lucy are really my why behind my business. And I talk about, getting to know more people in the pet industry, working with Lucy as a therapy dog. And I mentioned my podcast. Even though my podcast is more geared toward business people, I have some episodes that are great for pet parents. And so I've included some links there. So this is kind of like the why, more about the dogs, but then also part of my why is connecting people and supporting women in the pet industry is important to me. So this is kind of why all of this is in this email. And then again, I tell them, if you like this, there is going to be one more getting to know you email coming your way in a couple days. And after I get you caught up on the best parts of Wear, Wag, Repeat, expect to get emails from me every Thursday. Sound good? So I kind of set the expectation right here in email number 2 that I'm going to email them every Thursday. Which brings us to the third and final email in my welcome sequence, which is kind of relating to their pain points. So there's, maybe your lead magnet solves a problem for people. Maybe it's just something fun to do, but if it's something that solves a problem, then you might have a good idea of what your audience's pain points are. So I hear from people all the time that, their family thinks that they're crazy, that they're too obsessed with their dog. You're spending too much time with your dog. You're a crazy dog mom. So I made this email about, call me a crazy dog mom. Bring it on. I embrace the crazy dog mom, and I'm here to support you, and we can all be crazy together. So that's kind of what I make this email out to be. I really would send this to like a personal friend. I'm speaking to people as if I really am friends with them. Like, let's just be crazy dog ladies and grow old together, because that's all I want to do. And then here, at the end of the email, I say, can you please reply to this email with some dog pics? That would really make my day. And not everyone who gets this email does that, but I got to tell you, some people do. And some days I just get an email in my inbox and it's like, here's a photo of my dog. And I'm like, why am I getting this? And I'm like, oh yeah, because they're on email number 3 of the welcome sequence. So people really, really do it. And I think, every time I look at my email welcome sequence, I'm always like, I should shorten this. I should do that. But people are reading it, and that's the thing about all of your email marketing, is that it's never going to be perfect. Just get it set up and get it ready to send, because you can always go back and change it. I change mine all the time. The last email where I said I'd email you every Thursday, I only just started doing that like a month ago or maybe 2 months ago. So I just recently updated that in that email. You can always go back and update these as much as you want. So just to kind of review here, when to send these emails. So email number 1, it would come 1 day after subscribing, and you can set this all up automated in your email system. I have ConvertKit. I'm not sure about the other systems, but you should be able to automate all of this. So I have email 1 goes 1 day after subscribing, because remember, they're going to get that incentive email like 5 minutes after they subscribe. So this will come the next day. And then email number 2 comes 2 days after that. And then email number 3, I just have it scheduled to go 2 more days after that. So it's a little bit spread out and people have time. They're not like, they're not going to see like 3 or 4 emails from you in a row. Unless they really get no emails, then maybe that would happen. But yours will kind of be spread out over the course of about a week is how long that would take to happen. And then starting the next week or whenever you send out your emails, they'll be on the regular email list. Does anyone have any questions about that so far? Okay, sounds good. Ready to move on? So I know that there are some people who want to know how to re-engage their email list because they're like a little MIA or feel like they just do not keep in touch with their email subscribers, and that's totally fine. So let's talk about how to re-engage your list if you have not emailed them lately. You just send them a re-engagement sequence. So I would suggest that you use the welcome sequence template that I just kind of laid out for you, and just send that as a re-engagement sequence. So you can adjust it to kind of be like, hey, instead of saying welcome to my email list, you could say like, hey, I know you haven't heard from me in a while, but you did sign up for my list. Here's who I am and what I do, just as a reminder. Or you could say like, hey, you signed up for this freebie 6 months ago, and then I kind of dropped the ball. I'm so sorry. Here it is again. And here's what I've missed telling you about. Here's what I've been doing for the last 6 months that I have forgotten to tell you about. It's totally cool. I think that it really kind of reminds people that we are real people sending the emails, and they are real people getting the emails. So I think if it were me, I would just say, I'm sorry, life got hectic. I dropped the ball. It was too much. I was trying to email every week or twice a week, and I just got burnt out. So now I'm going to email you once a month or something. Just tell people exactly what you're going to do. You want to treat your subscribers like real people. So don't go from ghosting them to becoming a stage 5 clinger. And this is like the little quick example I wanted to just share. I had bought a dog supplement from a brand, I don't know, 6 months ago, maybe more than that. And I bought the supplement. I used it. It took me, 6 weeks or whatever to go through the supplement. It was a tincture I was giving Lucy, and I never got any emails from this company other than like the shipping confirmation. And then all of a sudden, a month ago, they started emailing like 3 times a week, and there was no re-engagement sequence. There was no like, hey, sorry, we haven't been in touch with you. I don't know what happened on their end. If maybe I wasn't tagged properly, or maybe they just weren't sending emails out at all. I have no idea. And that's kind of the problem. I have no idea what was going on. And I have no idea why all of a sudden I was getting 3 emails a week. And there was no way to adjust it to be less than that. And since they were dog supplements, I didn't really want 3 emails a week because I'm not buying that on a weekly basis. So that was an example where I actually unsubscribed from their list. So you just want to be communicative with people and kind of tell them what to expect, because at the end of the day, pet parents really do want to get your emails. I really did want to get the emails from that pet supplement company. I just didn't want 3 per week. So remember that people really do care. They did sign up for a reason. So whether they signed up for a freebie, whether they bought something from you, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you are keeping in touch with them. Something that I forgot to include in here, which just came to my mind, is that people are never more excited about you and your business and your products and your services as they are the first minute that they sign up. So when people first sign up for your freebie or first buy your product, they're so excited. They are checking the tracking number. They can't wait for UPS to get to their door, or they're checking their email to get your freebie, and they're going and following you on everything. They are going to be so excited in that first couple of moments when they're buying your thing or getting your freebie or joining your list or whatever. So you really want to kind of return that level of enthusiasm and tell them how excited you are to have them on your list, right, Pam? Yeah, it's exciting. So we want to just, people are so excited to join your list. I mean, it's email. I know it sounds kind of boring. You're like, sign up for our email list, but people are genuinely, they wouldn't do it if they weren't excited about it. So just keep that in mind. I always try to be very positive about everything, but just, have that positive mindset that people are excited. When you send that email, just imagine people being like, oh yes, an email from Krista, an email from Caitlin. I can't wait to read it. So, just have that kind of positive mindset as you're writing these. Okay. I am very positive. Yes. Okay. So far, what we've talked about is, what is a lead magnet? Why email is important. I hope I've convinced everyone. I know you're kind of already convinced because you're here. How to put together a 3 email welcome sequence and sort of like the formula for what to include in those. And then re-engaging a list that you ghosted. It's okay, it happens. Basically, just send them a welcome sequence that you've kind of altered and edited to make sense for that kind of re-engagement. Now, I just want to mention, if you want to keep the email momentum going, I have lots and lots of resources available to you. Currently, Where Repeat Society is open for enrollment. And if you do join, you would get instant access to over 18 months of archive content. So I went through the archives this afternoon and picked out a few lessons that I think would be really helpful to growing your email list. So there's one about create a lead magnet that pet parents can't resist. I had a guest lesson taught by Amy from the Dog Guide, and she did blogging for SEO. So having some really good SEO optimized blog posts would help people get to your website to get your freebie and to get on your email list. It's kind of like a whole ecosystem. And then I also have a lesson about extra income with affiliate links. And emails are a really, really great place to share affiliate links because you can tell people over time why you love a thing. You can share photos, you can share links, you can share stories and all kinds of stuff. So these are just 3 examples out of, I think there's 20 different lessons total to pick from, everything from social media to blogging to emailing to how to know what to charge, how to raise your rates. We have some really, really great lessons. A lot of them come with some bonus resources and bonus PDFs. And I also make sure every month I link to the podcast episodes that are relevant for that lesson, because I have 234 podcast episodes. And so it's hard to kind of sort through that archive. So I put in like the most relevant ones below each lesson. And coming up this fall, we have some exciting things. Every month, there is a themed lesson that I teach live. And so in September, that is shoot and edit compelling video. October, we're going to plan out our holiday content so that you're not scrambling and stressed out come November and December. And then in November, we're going to do a social media panel. So I have a few of our expert members. We're going to talk about Pinterest and TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and it's going to be really cool. We've never done a panel before, so I'm excited for that. And then in December, we're going to do year in review. We did this last year, and it's one of my favorite things because I think as solopreneurs, which a lot of us are, it's hard to force yourself to do this year in review. Nobody has a boss who's saying, oh, it's time for your annual review. So we have to do it ourselves. And it's a little bit more fun when you have a group of people to do it with. In addition to all of those themes, we also have monthly co-working, Yappy Hour every single month, which is kind of a more informal, friendly chat. And then we have mastermind style hot seat calls where we have like time for 4 or 5 members to get the hot seat, and you get everyone's input on whatever it is that you're trying to figure out. Plus the private Facebook group. And then the best part, which is access to a community of women who get it, which is everybody in here. So if you are interested, I just wanted to include it in here because it's so many extra resources. If you really do want to grow your email list or your website traffic or raise your rates or whatever it is that you're interested in doing, there are lessons about it in the archives. In addition to the lesson recordings, I also record all of the hot seat calls. So those are all in there as well. And yay, thank you so much, Alexandra and Charlotte and Krista and Caitlin and everyone in here who's already a member. I really appreciate all of you guys. So here are the details. I only open it a few times a year. Next year, I might change that to be open whenever, but right now we only do it a few times a year because I kind of like the community sense that we get. I feel like if people are constantly like coming and going, it kind of messes with that. So right now it's only open for 1 week. So you have until Sunday night if you're interested in joining for less than $2 a day or less than what it cost me to feed my dogs for 2 weeks, you could be a member of Where Wag Repeat Society and get access to all of that stuff. So if you are interested in joining, there's the link. It is wherewagrepeat.com/society. And we would love to have you there. You can join month to month. There's also an annual option where you would get 2 months for free. If you're interested in going that route, that's available at the website as well. All right. So thank you guys so much for listening to that. Now I want to open it up to any and all questions that we have about email, and I will turn off the screen sharing. Okay. All right. Woo! Thank you guys so much. I don't think we like lost anyone, which is really amazing for an online workshop. So let's see, I'm going to try and go kind of scroll up in the comments here and see what kind of early questions that we had. And then if anyone wants to come on their audio, they can as well. Okay. Question. Okay. Caitlin's got a question. So how do you come up with a lead magnet when you don't have a product or service on your website? For example, I'm a content creator without any of those things. So any quick tips or ideas for brainstorming would help. So Caitlin, I happen to know that you have some really popular blog posts about canine enrichment. So I think you could do a little video or a little PDF or something about like, here are 3 canine enrichment games that you could play. You probably already have these videos. Like, I think I've seen you do like the cups game, I think on videos. So you could just stitch together a couple of those videos and have it uploaded to YouTube as like a privately listed video that people can only see with the link. So you could say like, sign up for my email list and get my 3 favorite enrichment games and get a video of it. Yeah. I mean, that's just one idea. There's lots and lots of ideas. I'm sure everyone has lots of other ideas too. Okay. Pam says she's in the process of making a challenge for people to get their dogs more active and get active together. Challenges are also, I didn't include that, but that's a great lead magnet, is doing a challenge. So if you're like, I'm going to do a 7-day challenge, or you could do a 30-day challenge, maybe for like getting fit and active, maybe you need 30 days to kind of develop a routine for that. But doing some kind of a challenge is really, really great. And you can make it so simple, guys. You don't have to have a Facebook group. You don't have to have all this stuff. It just could be very simple. It could be a sequence of emails telling people how to keep up with this challenge. Great idea. Okay, Maria says, my question is, how do I do an email list when what I do is draw dogs and make items with their pets on it? So if you are really strictly a product business, you could offer people a discount. So a discount is a lead magnet. Every website that's like, sign up and get 10% off, that's a lead magnet. So that would be like a very simple one. I've also seen, there's somebody I follow. Let me make a note because I'll send you it. We send Maria, dog artist. Okay. There's someone, I signed up for her email list. She's also a pet artist. And she has really great emails you should sign up for. And some of her freebies are like, she'll draw something and be like, you can use this as the background on your phone. So she'll draw a little something and be like, get a free phone wallpaper or free desktop wallpaper. And it could just be, you know, random dogs. It doesn't have to be their dog. It could just be like any dog. You know, some people also, you could design it as like a calendar. You know, if someone wanted to have like a calendar on their desktop of their laptop or their computer, and it could just have like your illustrations and your artwork around it. That would be really cool too. There's a lot of things like that you could create. Sound good?
That sounds amazing. Like, thank you.
Yeah,
I have
you're
no
welcome.
idea. Like, yes, this is so good.
Good. Awesome. I love the idea of like a phone background or like a lock screen or something like that. That would be very cool.
Yeah, that would be really good. Yes. Thank you so much.
And it's easy to do.
Yes, so true.
Okay. All right. So Pam says, have you ever unsubscribed and have it not taken? You just keep getting the emails. Yeah, I think that does happen. Usually I think that's going to happen with like bigger companies that have some big giant list. You know, sometimes people say like, it might take 3 weeks for you to get unsubscribed. So I'm like, I don't know. That shouldn't be the case. What is the best way to find pet companions, like pet guardians? Yes, yes. Okay. It's guardian's a good word. So the best, I think there's a lot of different ways. Of course, if you have some kind of website to drive traffic to. You could, write blog posts and get people to come to the blog posts, find your website. Social media is also a really great place to do that. And I think too, for you, Facebook groups might be a really good place to connect with people. There are so many. I know they're called dog mom groups. Don't like that word, but they're called dog mom groups. But they could be like pet guardians, pet companions, whatever word that we want to use. But there's so many Facebook groups for that. And I think that's a really great way. Not all of those groups allow you to share links to things, but some of them do. So you just kind of have to look around. And if you can answer, if people ask questions in the group and you have a helpful answer or helpful response, that can be a great way to just kind of get the conversation started or share your lead magnet.
This is Alyssa. I don't know why my video is not working.
That's okay.
I see a lot of people in like dog spotting and stuff. They'll post random photos, and as long as they have their business or rescue or whatever listed on their page, they still get a lot of traffic. So they're not breaking the rules, but they're still getting.
That's a good workaround. Yeah. If you post like as your page or something, just make sure that you have your profile all filled out. That's a good point. Thanks guys. I'm just reading. Where Wagger Pizza Society is the bomb. Thanks, Krista. Okay. Adriana says, what email newsletter software do you use? I use ConvertKit. That is my favorite. And they have a plan where up to 1,000 subscribers on your list is free. So when I send out the recording of this, I'll send out the link. I have an affiliate link to it. So I'll just mention that. But I have an affiliate link for it. So if you want to try out ConvertKit, I really like it. Because if you do end up growing your list, it will allow you to kind of make things more complicated as needed. But if you just want to start off and keep it simple, it's actually free up to 1,000 subscribers. So most people who reply to me have under 1,000 subscribers. So I think it would work for a lot of people. And then, sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to say thank you. Sorry.
Oh, you're very welcome. Let's see. Charlotte says she would not recommend MailChimp. And Alyssa and a couple other people are asking why. And Caitlin says she has some issues with it. MailChimp, I have not used it in a very long time. The reason why I quit using it is because I would segment my list, which is like a great thing to be able to do. I'll be like, these people are interested in canine enrichment. These people are interested in the podcast. So I could like split people up and just send them the emails they want. Well, MailChimp, if I wanted to send an email to everyone, it wouldn't let me do that. I would have to send separate emails out to all the separate segments. And I did not like that. That was very inconvenient. So that's a reason why I did not like MailChimp. Charlotte just says it's less intuitive. Yeah. Okay. And then, all right. And some other people use Flowdesk. No, Flowdesk is a good one as well. I can't think of, I always blank on the names of the email services because I'm just such a ConvertKit fan. But there are other options out there. It's just MailChimp. A lot of people seem to be kind of getting away from that one. And then if anyone does have like a Shopify site, there is email capability built into that as well. And all kind of plugins you can add in. So there's lots of different ways to communicate with people. All right, I'm really proud of myself. It's only 8:05. So I did a really good job being on time. I was getting nervous halfway through and I was like, oh my God, I still have so much more to talk about. Any other questions? I guess I answered your question, Caitlin. It's not awkward, don't worry. I'm just gonna put in here, if anyone does want to check it out, is Where Pizza Society. If you do want to check it out, there's the link. Would love to have you. If you have any questions at all about anything, just let me know. And there are other members in here too who can answer your questions.
Yeah, just a quick question. You said Shopify. I'm trying to open up my Shopify store. Can you use the email source that you just cited that you like a lot with Shopify or no?
Yes. it integrates with Shopify. And because I have a Shopify store as well, because I just have to do everything. And so in Shopify, you can link it up with ConvertKit. And then in ConvertKit, it will tag everyone. So you could send an email, like for me, I have like my puppy breath candle. If I wanted to, like when I have a puppy breath restock, because sometimes it goes out of stock, I can send an email out only to the people who've bought that candle and say it's back in stock if you want another one. And it just integrates it all. I don't have to like manually tag those people. ConvertKit just knows they bought that, and it just lets me email only them if I want to.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
It's very handy. Yes. And Kristen, oh, thank you so much. Kristen says, Wear, Repeat is a wonderful value for all of the info included in the membership. It is very comprehensive. Thank you so much, Kristen. I really appreciate you saying that. It is a wonderful community. And, you know, I think for a lot of us that we're like doing our own thing, sometimes I know I just get overwhelmed and I'm like, I'm just going to watch Netflix or TikTok all afternoon because I don't even know where to begin. And so having a community of people and just having something, there's something on the schedule once a week. So, you know, I don't want it to be an overwhelming thing, but we do have some kind of meetup once a week. So at least, you know, if you can show up for that, you can kind of keep yourself on track and kind of get back in the right mindset. And not to mention, we just have fun conversations. At our last hot seats call, we talk about so many different things. We were talking about, is it ethical to use dogs to taste test new treats? Because this is something I heard about at Super Zoo trade show. I guess it's last month now, a couple of weeks ago. And all these companies were telling me that their treats tested very high in the palatability testing. And I got home and I thought about it and I talked to my members and I was like, well, it's kind of animal testing to, you know, use these dogs to taste test your stuff. So that was very interesting. Like we talk about all kinds of stuff. All right. I'll stop blabbering on and on because I know I gave you guys a lot of information here tonight. Are you going to make an email welcome sequence? Comment and tell me, yes, I'm going to do it. And I will make sure to follow up with you and make sure that you do it. Good. Everyone is on it. Yes. Even if you have 2 people or 11 people on your email list, set up your welcome sequence because you just never know. And the next person, the 3rd person who joins your email list, they might become your biggest supporter and your biggest customer. You have no idea. So just set up that welcome sequence and remember to let your personality shine, keep it on brand, tell people that you care about them, that you're happy that they joined it. Yes. Yay. And don't forget something that Alexandra just made me think of. She wants to add a couple more emails with more stuff. You could, in your welcome sequence, you could schedule something to go out a month later. And you could say, hey, you've been on my list for 1 month. I just wanted to say like, thank you for being here. And, you know, here's a special something for you. So I could just keep going on and on with ideas, but I won't. I will stop it here. And I thank you guys so much for joining me, for being here live. If you need anything, you know where to find me. And I will send out a link to this recording tomorrow morning, first thing, in case you want to watch it back for any reason. Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tori.
Bye.